Kia ora tatou. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Pip. Thank you, Annie, and all from Auckland Mathematics Association, AMA, and also from New Zealand for this invitation. I don't know if you know, but AMA, we say ama in Portuguese, and ama in Portuguese means love. Yeah, that's it. And in this ama online, in this love online, a lovely Saturday morning, I intend to share with you some results of Brazilian scientific research on statistical education, with a focus, as Annie was presenting to us, on developing statistical literacy and also teacher collaboration. The first most important aspect emerging from our scientific research that I would like to emphasize is about student protagonism. Student engagement to promote statistical literacy, I consider that it is powerful. Not only statistical literacy, but any other learning process, of course. Many collaborations between teachers, in addition to promoting student learning, are concerned with how to promote their engagement and their student protagonism. And as you can see in the screen, I did the same. Let me pass here. You can see my next slide.
We can see the pie chart.
Oh, good. Thank you. To know our students and also to know our audience, it's important to promote their engagement and the consequent protagonism. Robin sent me this information from you before I prepared this speak. And I know that almost half of are from Auckland, but there are also people from other different regions with very different realities. And I also know that here are teachers of our years from the 1st to the 20th. And this is a good way for me to get to know a little bit about you. And my speak will be considered this characterization. And of course, other people from other contexts also feel included. And in the screen, you can see now, as I know a little bit from you, and I think it is also important to introduce my place of speak. And I am originally a mathematics teacher and who become a statistics professor and research in statistical education, exactly in this order. I was born in and work on the extreme south coast of Brazil, in this place, in very south of Brazil, almost off the map there, and in a city called Rio Grande. As you can see, it is almost an island it looks like Wellington and our New Zealand and Auckland, and our Federal University of Rio Grande takes place here in this pin. And I work in that public university with high rating and a university free of charge for our students. And this is some statistics, some numbers of my university. And today I am here in Wellington, in New Zealand, but when I am in Brazil, I stay in Innovation Center for Statistical Education that we call ICE, a center for teaching, extension, and research in statistical education. This is our team of researchers linked to postgraduate program in science education, as you can see that image. And they are also members of the International Interdisciplinary Group for Research in Statistical Education that we call GIP. Why I am telling about these people and about this place for you? Because they act and research in these main projects that are on the screen of our university in Brazil. And one of the most famous and oldest project, which has been running since 2011, is LEMI. In LEMI, more than 3,000 young people have already been literate in statistics, and more than 200 teachers have been guided. This was a project that received the Best Literacy Project Award in Malaysia in 2019 from International Association for Statistical Education. And along with LEMI, we have Mosaico and Atelier. Mosaico aims to promote collaborative teacher development in meetings to exchange experience. And Atelier, it aims to disseminate and as an Instagram channel, possibilities for promoting the teaching and learning of statistics. And from this project emerged the main scientific findings that I promise to present today. After that presentation of the context, now we need to move to the focus. We need to move to the focus by this this chat, but the focus is still the context. I was talking about my context, and your focus now is still the context. In this other book that we published, this book report on applied research based on implementation of statistical literacy in public schools in Brazil, and also the collaboration between teachers. This book shows that the insertion of the context and also the interest of the students of their reality in their classroom mobilized their interest and their learning. the book was written not only by researchers, but also by teachers who have become researchers on their own practice. The main result of our research that I would like to reiterate are student protagonism and context. This is for statistical education and, of course, for any other areas. I don't know if you remember, but the title of our conversation today is about statistical literacy, student engagement, teacher collaboration. And I have already presented some scientific research results on both sides of the screen, protagonism, students, and context. But why develop statistical literacy? It's the main question. When we are born, we already generate statistics. Do you agree? We are weighted, measured, we become one more person in the world, and we start to generate new statistics, right? Here we can see two examples where statistical literacy is a competence for the exercise of citizenship. Emphasize to the students the relevance of learning statistics for understand context like this is a part of, I think it's a part of our responsibility as teachers. But how to make students act in a protagonist way? I think it's our main challenge. Here we can see two examples where statistical literacy is a competence. Oh, sorry. I changed the slide. No, it's here. Let me show you the correct one. The next one. Good. Come back. Sorry, I put the wrong slide. The last question that I did, how to make students act in a protagonist way. And I put that slide because sometimes as a teacher, we need to go to extreme and show that it's important to calculate and also understand beyond the average, for example. Could we say in this case that on average, the temperature is great, 25 degrees. That's okay, wonderful temperature. We can go to the beach and outside, but of course not. Here is an opportunity to highlight that the need of other statistics, such as, for example, standard deviation. Still, it is important to note that sometimes students even manage to calculate the standard deviation. And we, as mathematics teachers, we know very well how to teach calculations. We usually to do it. But how to teach students to interpret? I will return to the same ideas. To promote more than learning calculus, but statistical literacy, scientific research has shown that a good strategy will be to place the student as a protagonist, mobilizing them with context of their interest, of the interest by the students. But now, with that new perspective, we have another question. How to do it? How to put the students in a protagonist, as a protagonist? It's our another big challenge for us as teachers and professors also. I will present the result of two scientific researches. One of them related to teachers' knowledge to teach statistics, and the other to students' playfulness and motivation to learn. To help us to answer that previous questions about how to promote, how to put students in a protagonist way. Here you can see from our research in a collaborative teaching context, I am referring to teachers who got together to collaborate, and this research presents us a teaching professional base. This base includes knowledge of content, general pedagogical knowledge, knowledge of educational context, and such elements compose the pedagogical knowledge of statistical content. As you can see, it includes aspects such as curriculum, classroom management and organization, assessment, statistical skills, students and community, and this knowledge is expected from a teacher who teaches statistics. Teaching, it's not easy. It makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely, Maureen. It's not easy.
And all that knowledge that I talked about in theory, they emerged from discussion of teachers who got together to collaborate with each other and to think about the teaching of statistics. In a collaborative group that we call Mosaico, Mosaico in English means mosaic, a set of different pieces that together form a beautiful image. And a group of different teachers thinking together with the same proposal. What's our proposal when we are together as a teacher or as a professor? Of course, the student learning, all that we want. Ask me later if you are interested on knowing more, please, at the end. Did you hear that I spoke about teachers who meet with the purpose of thinking about students learn? as professors and teachers, we are always thinking about it, about student learning. And in this scope, I will present the second and last research that I had commented on. In this research was proven that a positive experience maximizes motivation, which provides a student engagement in the new action or experience in that way. Some aspects were also identified that constituted the Ludic motivational model. They are autonomy, social interaction, appreciation of students' interest, collaboration, social context, interdisciplinarity, valuing student productions, feeling of satisfaction at the end of the activities, and also identify and identity and culture. In the other research, we saw how challenging it is, how many skills we need to mobilize as teachers. On the other hand, here in this research, we can see how gratifying it is to prepare ourselves as teachers or professors and collaborate as teachers, because we can provide all these good feeling in our students, of course, in additional to learn, our main purpose. As I said, these scientific findings presented are not strictly theoretical. These results emerge from applied research from our projects such as LEMI, Statistical Literacy, Mosaico for teaching collaboration, and Atelier for scientific and technological dissemination of statistical education. As I promised, below are some images of the teaching and extension activities that we developed for statistical literacy, which aims the student engagement and the teachers' collaboration, which are the basis of our scientific research. Here you can see collaboration between teachers, here collaboration between professors at university and at the school. Here are some more images of activities at a rural school and a school in a simple community in a beachside neighborhood. Here you can see some images of LEMI in its main context in a center that we call it CECEMAR, Center of Conviviality of the Boys of the Sea. Here are some activities that the teachers sometimes create. And here you can see teachers putting themselves in the students' place and doing statistical research. In these pictures, we can see students doing statistical learning projects, pedagogical practice that is in the first blue book that I showed to you in the beginning at this presentation, which will be released in this year in a ebook in English and Spanish. Nowadays we have only in Portuguese. Some we will have in English also. Here in this picture, we can see this slide in the next one. We can see students perform statistics and socialize their learning. Doing statistics and socializing with the colleagues, the community, with other teachers, by the center, by the school. Sometimes the students present their research as a television journal. Sometimes some students choose to sing a song to present their statistics that they did. And here in this last one slide, finally, it is important to highlight then in developing statistical literacy through students' engagement and teacher collaboration, one of the most powerful implication identified in our scientific research is promoting of social justice through statistical literacy. We have this paper published in English. We have some papers published in English, most are in Portuguese, but we have some in our maybe 10 or more in our website from ICE, published in English. And for this cause, I am still here in New Zealand, looking to identify new scientific findings based on the culture and the knowledge of this amazing country, New Zealand, to better collaborate with the world in the area of statistical education. And the last one, thank you for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to be among teachers who teach mathematics and statistics.